Have you pursued this year with plenty of power, but yet no peace? Or maybe you've gone through this year where you've actually made some poor decisions and now you're reaping that harvest. Of late, I've had quite a few men say, I realised I haven't levelled up in my faith. And of course, to have faith requires a tremendous amount of courage to live a faith-filled life. So, hey, in this video, I'm going to talk about levelling up in your faith. But this is how you're going to do it. Because maybe you've heard me talk about inside every man. In the Word of God, the Bible talks about men have got to do 5 things. To be a man, to protect, provide, be the king, be a priest, and a prophet, okay? So today I'm going to talk about the priest. What does that actually look like in today's society, this modern society? Because maybe there's people in your business that need some pastoral help, maybe some emotional help. So as a priest, that's our role. As men, we're all designed, we have that capacity to be able to actually do that. But obviously it must be exercised to grow that muscle. You know, like a mentor said to me a long time ago, not every good idea or good way of doing things is a godly way. So today, and we're going to talk about, you know, do you want a good idea or do you want a God idea? Because the God idea, it's easier, it's faster, it will get you to go the distance, and on that journey you will actually develop your character. It's a bit like that good to great. Well, I reckon when you're doing God's way, it's great. And maybe you're new to this channel. Maybe you're new to the Gavin Top channel or podcast or whatever. This is not a religious thing. I'm not coming from like a religious is man-made rules, okay? I'm talking about doing it God's way. I'm talking about having a relationship with God. You know, we talk about, I love to, over the years, I've been doing this for a very long time, okay? And I've done things, I've coached men with Gavin ideas. But I've learned, you know, doing, you know, I mean, we were talking thousands of men over the last 16 years, in person, online. Man, I just want to give men the best of me. So I think this is a good example of levelling up in your faith, all right? Psalm 127, unless God builds a house, the labour of the build is in vain. You know, do things Gavin's way or maybe do things your way, it's limited and it's been in vain. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say, because I've experienced it, and I think I have, probably you have as well, where we've built things in our life and maybe we've been able to build a business or accumulate some material possessions, and we've built them and all of a sudden they're kind of empty. You know, I remember, I've shared this before many times, where I remember building a boxing career, okay? I didn't know at the time, but what was happening, it was all about me, basically. Trying to prove myself, test myself. I remember winning the Australian title in front of Fox Sports, 1.2 million people watching. And I remember stepping off that ring and thinking, is that it? Like, I thought it would be better. Obviously that was in vain. I was wanting more. And I think for a lot of men, we keep chasing, we keep striving, we keep going after that thing, wanting more. But when we understand and look at things from a holy point of view, that's from a priest, we have that capacity to look at things in a pastoral way, it changes things. Because this so-called success in this modern world is killing men. This striving, never enough, it's killing men. It's killing marriages, it's robbing you of time with your children. It's driving people, maybe if you've got teams, driving people away from yourself. So it's a bit like we can go full tilt. And this is why I'm talking about this stuff, because I've seen it in my life. But when it comes to, we neglect that emotional development and we just go to provide for our families, which I mean, we have to, it's a part of it, right? But when we focus all on providing and miss providing in a spiritual capacity, an emotional capacity, man, we've missed the mark completely. And of course, you don't know what you don't know, okay? You just don't know what you don't know, simple as that. Remember, some people would say, oh, wow, Gav, you've been so successful, right? And of course, yes, I have, and so have you. It's all perspective, okay? I mean, the fact that you're listening to this, man, you're in the top 1 or 2% of the world, you know? A lot of people don't even have what you've got right now. So it's all about perspective. But I remember even a couple of years ago, shifted my family over to Europe and to the Mediterranean, and I remember being there a few months, okay? And my wife was just seemed a little bit off, and I remember, this is perspective. I said to her, hey love, what do you want to do? What's going on? And it was hard, it was challenging. You shift your family to a foreign country, different language, you're out of your comfort, out of your comfort zone. You've taken away all the material possessions, all the comforts, okay? I remember pulling the map of the world up and showing my wife, hey listen, there's the map, where do you want to go? Showing her the bank account, we can go anywhere, we can do anything. And then it's like, she starts crying. And like, as a man, as a husband, I'm thinking, what have I missed here? You've got everything. What's wrong with you? But I'm thinking, hang on. Now, I've missed something. Remember, you don't know what you don't know. I've been providing all these other things, but there was obviously something I'd missed. I see that in a lot of men that I coach, that I serve, that I help, that they're very successful in 1 or 2 areas, but 1 or 2 areas ain't enough. Particularly if you're missing out on the important things. Even recently, I was on this podcast. A fantastic man in California invited me onto his podcast. Awesome, it was fantastic. And halfway through it, he sort of, caught me off guard. It's live and whatever, but I was taken off guard. And he said to me, give me a definition of masculinity. I'm being a man. And what I did was, I started to tell him what I thought. And halfway through, I thought, he has tens of thousands of people listening to his podcast. I actually don't want to give these people what I think. He asked me what I thought, but I don't want to give you what I think. This is what I want to give you. I want to give you what the truth is, what the Word of God says when he talks about being a man. And 1 Corinthians 16:13, it talks about be alert. And this is what we're talking about, being a priest here. Okay, man, some of the men of God are the toughest men I know. The battles that they fight on a spiritual level, never mind a relationship level, never mind when they're planting churches. I'm telling you, I know some pastors that they are so tough. It's different toughness than boxing. But really, what I said, really what it defines the masculinity, and particularly around a priest, this is what you have to do to be a priest. You have to be like 1 Corinthians 16 says, okay? Be on guard, be alert, meaning look out for the enemy. It says stand firm in your faith. Whereas when you're the priest of the house, you need to stand firm. It says be courageous. It says be strong. And then in 14 it says, and do everything in love. Man, that takes a priest with spiritual strength. With spiritual strength. How many men have leveled up spiritual? How many men have leveled up in their spiritual strength? We generally don't talk about that. We talk about looking good in front of the mirror. You look at all these selfies of blokes in gyms. Maybe you've done it. Maybe, spiritually, do you need to level up? And an indicator is, are you lacking courage? Are you lacking courage? Are you operating at average? It takes a tremendous amount of courage to level up in your faith. So a couple of quick things, all right? When I say quick things, there's a couple of things here that I'm going to be quick. I'm not going to drag it on, but there's a couple of things you must do to actually be leveling up spiritually, okay? To strengthen that spiritual strength. Firstly, read the Bible, man. Read the Bible. Read it, digest this thing. Chew on it. Says it's the Word of God. You must, You must chew on this thing like there's no tomorrow. It's the life force, okay? The second thing is pray. Pray like, man, choose me, send me. A lot of men who do my programs, they don't have a faith yet. You know, we're all on a journey. But I always say, man, you need help. You know, this is what the strongest prayer known to man is. And it's short. It's help! God has never not heard my help. Okay? That's how you do it, all right? I would say that really possibly one of the things that has saved my life, that has kept growing me, I've had spiritual mentors, men that have shown me the holy way, you know, that have directed me back to this again and again. So I think a big one as well, particularly like I say, you're reading the word, getting the truth, the facts. It's gone the distance, been around for thousands of years, and ain't going anywhere soon. It says he's coming back for us before that happens. But anyway, that builds confidence. That's how courage is built. That's how faith is built. And maybe you're thinking, oh, Gav, what are you talking about? I'm saying try it. But this is what I think is crucial for men to develop their faith. And it's probably not what you think. It's actually be quiet. It's actually have some quiet time. Have some quiet time and just be still. Psalm 46:10, it says, be still and know that I am God. Most men are too busy. It's over the top.